As we close out the decade, a Christmas Day commitment will see an Indiana standout guard heading to the Old North State. Miami of Ohio slinged out a stocking full of Yuletide offers. And in Michigan, the GLIAC's Davenport University unwrapped a 6'4" wideout and West Side Dream Teamer who made it official. That and much more on the final 2020 edition of State Champ Scout Show. Happy New Year as we end 2020 with a beautifully gift-wrapped edition of State Champ Scout Show. My name is Lauren Plant. This program is powered by Lawrence Technological University in Southfield, Michigan. The Blue Devils are hot on the recruiting trail for 200 student athletes to be Blue Devils by next fall in over 24 NAIA varsity D2 level collegiate sports. Recruit yourself at LTUathletics.com. Several Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio high school athletes and universities got what they wanted on their Christmas list in terms of offers and commitments. And in this week's Recruiting 101, former Michigan State and pro quarterback Ryan Van Dyke shares some advice he's learned over the years. Let's ring in the new year as we begin in the land called the Crossroads of America.
This is Scott Bernstein from Indiana. Hoosierland's praying mantis is now the mountain man. Lowell senior wing Chris Mantis committed to Appalachian State over the weekend. The 6'6", fundamentally sound small forward is in the midst of a quiet but growing louder by the day Mr. Basketball candidacy where he's averaging a resounding 30 points, 10 boards, and 5 assists per game. He chose Appalachian State, a small Division I program in the mountains of North Carolina, playing out of the Sun Belt Conference over Drake, Ball State, Valparaiso, Purdue Fort Wayne, and UI Chicago. Last season, Mantis pumped in 25 points per game. Earlier this month, he touched up the stat sheet for a career-high 48 in a 69-57 win against Portage. In hoop news out of the Indianapolis area, Brebeuf Jesuit forward Evan Altman, one of the most improved players in the state this season, has committed to the University of Illinois Springfield. The 6'6" Altman is scoring almost 10 points more than he did as a junior, averaging 20 points and 7 rebounds a game. His performance on the AAU circuit in the offseason raised his recruiting stock, and he's leveraged that momentum for himself into the 2021 campaign. Finally, Lake Central senior forward Kyle Ross has trimmed his college choices down to a Final Four. The 6'7" Ross has his list whittled to Rhode Island, IUPUI, Drake, and UW Green Bay. As a sophomore, he led Andrian to a 2A state title, dotting the scorebook for 17 points and 9 rebounds a night. But he left the team early in his junior year and has resurfaced at Lake Central. He didn't play most of last season. Ross's older brother Tyler played on Lake Central's 2014 state title team. Checking in from Indiana, this is Scott Bernstein.
If you're a high school athlete with the dream of playing college sports, Lawrence Technological University wants you to recruit yourself. LTU offers over 24 varsity sports for men and women, along with several dozen world-class undergraduate programs. Athletic and academic scholarships are available in all sports, including its newest additions, competitive cheer and dance, esports, women's hockey, and men's and women's track and field. Visit LTUathletics.com and recruit yourself. Lawrence Tech, where Blue Devils dare.
This is Alan True with your latest in recruiting news from around the state of Ohio. Cincinnati Hills Christian Academy tight end Garrett Josworth has given a verbal commitment to Grand Valley State University. After starting football only as a freshman, Josworth enjoyed a breakout season as a junior, catching 45 passes for 599 yards and 7 touchdowns. He followed that up with 19 receptions for 400 yards and 8 touchdowns as a senior. He chooses Grand Valley over offers from Dayton, Valparaiso, Lake Erie, and Kentucky Wesleyan. The Lakers now have 3 commitments from the state of Ohio, with Josworth joining Pickerington Central defensive back Quinn Wills and Benedictine defensive tackle Thomas Jolly. Miami, Ohio extended scholarship offers to prospects on Christmas Eve and Christmas. One of the recipients was Lakewood junior Tico Jones, a 2A player who played defensive end and tight end at 6'6", 240 pounds. Akron was Jones's first offer. The Zips offered in September. He's also hearing from Iowa State, Rutgers, Cincinnati, Liberty, and more. He was an all-conference and all-district performer as a junior. Dominic Foster of Warren Harding was also offered by the Redhawks. Foster played defensive back and wide receiver this season. He's now up to 6 offers, with the Redhawks joining Toledo, Akron, Youngstown State, Eastern Michigan, and Kent State. He's also hearing from Cincinnati, Maryland, Pittsburgh, Ohio State, and more. Over on the basketball side, Javon Simmons, a 6'6" junior power forward from Ghana, was offered a scholarship by the Toledo Rockets. This is Simmons' first offer. He had a solid sophomore campaign after transferring from Hartley, but has turned it up this offseason and had a huge start to his junior year. That has caught the eyes of many colleges, including the Rockets. That's it for recruiting news this week. I'm Alan True.
Did you record an unbelievable touchdown, a game-winning goal, or just a proud parent moment? Then we want your clip. Upload your video to the brand new State Champs Network app so we can feature it on one of our shows and give your player, team, and school the recognition they deserve. All it takes is just a few easy clicks, and every clip that is submitted will automatically be eligible for prizes. Download the State Champs Network app today for iPhone and Android devices.
Hi, I'm Ryan Van Dyke with State Champs. Last week I began to talk about everything that's going on with this new normal. So I found a quote. We all have the right to labor. We do not have the right to the fruits of our labor. And maybe that sounds harsh, and maybe it's just not a good enough answer for you, and I get it. But I want to correctly interpret what this exactly means. And what it means is this. The process is really the reward. The prize lies in the preparation and practices and protocols. See, it's how you actually attacked your goals. Do you feel good about the efforts and the sacrifices you made? Did you get better? Not just on the field of competition, but perhaps in how you've grown into a young adult this far? Next week, I'll talk about some advice that Coach D'Antonio gave me. I'm Ryan Van Dyke for State Champs.
I'm Lauren Plant with the Michigan Recruit Report. Dan Metlack knows a little bit about quarterbacking in the GLIAC, so when the former Michigan Tech signal caller, who is now the school's offensive coordinator and associate head coach, tweeted out his excitement Sunday for a big-time addition from the 231 area code, he wasn't exaggerating. Montague's Drew Collins was named this year's AP Division 5-6 Player of the Year and on Sunday committed to the Huskies. The 6'3", 208-pound senior plays both ways for Montague and led the Wildcats to an average of 49 points per game and a 9-0 record entering the Division 6 regional finals. But unlike other universities, the Huskies recruited Collins primarily as a quarterback, and he's been a heck of a signal caller for the Wildcats as a 3-year starter. In 9 games so far as a senior, Collins completed 69% of his passes for 1,412 yards and 17 scores. He also ran for 613 more yards and 15 scores. In his 37-game career to date, Collins has thrown for nearly 5,800 yards and 63 touchdowns, accounting for 38 more on the ground. 2 of Michigan's best in the 2022 talented wideout class are going to wind up being joined at the hip as prospects. Both are prime-timers. Roseville's Terrell Henry and East Point East Detroit's Tayshaun Trent trimmed their list down to a group of finalists in search for a collegiate home. The 6'1" to 165-pound Henry cut his 17 offers to a final 9 that includes Cincinnati, Nebraska, Youngstown State, Buffalo, West Virginia, Michigan State, Michigan, Penn State, and Syracuse. The 6'4", 205-pound Trent pared his 15 offers down to a top 8 that has Penn State, West Virginia, Louisville, Cincinnati, Michigan, Michigan State, Kentucky, and Indiana still in the running. The 2 receivers' teams finished 1-2 in the Macomb Area Conference's Gold Division this season, with Trent's East Point Shamrocks taking home the title in a renaissance season that saw them win 8 games for the first time since 1976 and claim their first ever playoff win. Both players are ranked in the top 20 in Michigan's 2022 class. While the class of 2022 in Michigan may not have the true 4- and 5-star power in the trenches that this year did, there are still plenty of FBS and FCS players to choose from among the state's top 30 players. One of those guys who's flown under the radar is Dexter offensive tackle James Livingston. As a sophomore, he helped Dexter break a 42-game losing skid and record its first 8-win season since 1965, only to follow it up with the program's first ever playoff win this fall. Part of his radar leap had to do with transforming himself into a college-caliber frame, adding 2 inches and muscle mass to a body that now stands at 6'7" and 275 pounds. He got his first D1 offer from Iowa State back on November 5th, followed 10 days later by one from Eastern Michigan. Kent State offered at the beginning of December, and Central Michigan dropped off an offer in Livingston's stocking on Christmas Day. Sparky McEwen and the offensive staff at Davenport got to unwrap a present on Christmas Day with the commitment of Grand Rapids South Christian's Elliott Grassheis. The 6'4", 175-pound wideout is a 2-time Division IV All-Conference and 2-time All-Stater while earning a spot on the Grand Rapids area Dream Team this fall. During the regular season, Grassheis caught 30 balls for 410 yards and 7 touchdowns, but since the postseason started, he's caught 18 more passes for 319 yards and 4 scores, plus a 2-point conversion. Grassheis had other offers from Concordia and Valparaiso, as well as D3 roster spots from Albion and Hope colleges. South Christian's only loss this fall came by just a single point against unbeaten Grand Rapids Catholic Central in the regular season finale. When you're a Division II program with the resume that Grand Valley State has, you know that recruiting setbacks are only temporary. At the start of December, the Lakers had just 11 players in their 2020 class, but all GVSU has done since then is nearly double the size of the class in December, with 7 of those 9 commits rolling in over the week-long span between December 20th and December 28th. The roll started with Niles King, defensive end from West Bloomfield, and that continued 24 hours later with a 3-commit day that included 6'3" Forest Hills Eastern wideout Grantland Lancaster and 6'5" Marshall tight end Trenton Fuller. Adding River Rouge quarterback Davion Haynes on Christmas Day was the capper to a very productive December. That's the latest from the state of Michigan. I'm Lauren Plant.
You can always catch up on the 20-plus previous episodes of this season of State Champ Scout Show by downloading the free State Champ Sports app. Apple, Android, Roku, Amazon Fire Stick. It's the best way to enjoy all of the State Champ Sports Network content. Our State Champs Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio social media pages have tons of state-specific content, so give us a like, follow, and please subscribe to always be alerted when fresh high school sports content from your state is uploaded. Our website, statechampsnetwork.com, has multiple weekly recruiting scout team blogs covering Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio from Scott Bernstein and Matt Mowry. All of our content is totally free, so please enjoy. I'm Lauren Plant. Happy New Year from all of us on the Scout team. National Signing Day is right around the corner. Lots to talk about in January. I'll see you then. State Champs Scout Show is proudly presented by Lawrence Technological University, where Blue Devils dare.